It's November 30th, 2021, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxell. Move over, Delta. There's a new variant in town. Meet Omicron. Here are the facts about this new variant. So there you have it. Despite any credible information about Omicron or any cases reported in the U.S., New York Governor Kathy Hochul has already declared a state of emergency. Well, at least she's not sexually harassing anyone like the previous governor. Or is she? Students at Arizona State University are upset because Kyle Rittenhouse, the young man exonerated of killing 2 people during a protest in Wisconsin, is enrolled there for online classes. It doesn't look good for ASU when you admit someone who couldn't even get into Trump University. As a warning to its rival, a Mexican cartel hung up 6 bodies on a bridge and a tree in central Mexico. And even worse, my neighbor hung up their Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's the same thing. New holiday decorations at the White House honor the frontline workers who persevered during the COVID-19 pandemic. The decorations include pay stubs that show many frontline workers are underpaid, threats from anti-vaccine weirdos, and signs that say nobody wants to work anymore. In a futile attempt to curb gas prices, President Biden released the nation's oil reserves, though experts say the oil will only last 2 or 3 days. But since it's Hanukkah, Biden is hoping it will last 8 nights. Rising inflation is hitting everyone pretty hard in the pocketbook. For those who still use pocketbooks, I don't use pocketbooks. I don't think I know anybody who does use a pocketbook. I have no idea why I said all that. Anyway, here's Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent John D. Babcock with his report on inflation at the pump.
Brian, in continuing our 3-part NewsBrake series on gas prices, how high is up? I, like my 2 colleagues before me, am on my way to a Costco to find out A, how long the line is, but B, how high the gas prices are. Brian, I'm happy to report that traffic was not bad at all. It was not a line at all. And you can see prices are about lower than the national average. But now all I need to do is scan my Costco card here, and we'll be on our way. We'll be on... What? Why is this not... Okay, so... What? Oh! Brian, I'm at a Kroger. I'm not at Costco. Okay. Well, at Kroger, your Costco card does not work. So, back to you in the studio, Brian Troxell.
Thank you, Babs, I guess. Next week, he'll try to use Kohl's Cash at a Ross. It's that time of the year for dictionary companies to remind you they still exist with their big Word of the Year announcements. Merriam-Webster chose vaccine for reasons that are probably very obvious to most of you. The Oxford English Dictionary went a step further and picked vax to satisfy both people who love vaccines and people who love a particular brand of an obsolete supercomputer. The Collins Dictionary went rogue and picked NFT as its word of the year, despite the fact that NFT is an acronym. Paradoxically, Collier's acronym of the year is snafu. And really, that's the acronym of the decade, isn't it? You can now go back to forgetting all about dictionaries. A professor at Old Dominion University who said pedophiles should instead be called minor attracted persons was forced to resign. But don't feel too bad. He found a new job doing what he loves most, working at a daycare. A Las Vegas woman, refusing to comply with McCarran Airport safety protocols, yelled, "Let's go, Brandon," as she was arrested and removed from a jet bridge. The woman's name is Katrina Alspaugh, but we can all call her Karen. In other women air travel news, a Spirit airline passenger went on a rampage Saturday, attacking 2 flight attendants and urging police to shoot her, which, to be fair, is the normal reaction when people realize they're aboard a Spirit flight. In other women in general news, a Brazilian woman was charged last week after beating her pregnant friend with a brick and stealing the baby from her womb. In case you are wondering, they are no longer friends. And now, a public service message.
I'm a simple man who enjoys the simple things in life. Like a bagel to start the morning. I always make sure to put cream cheese on mine. But you know, there are some people out there who think that butter is the only suitable topping for a bagel. Maybe I'm just a simple man, but I think our world has enough problems as is. We don't need any more. That's why I'm asking you to join me in making the pledge. Don't Babs your bagel.
Paid for by the National Cream Cheese Council and the American Bagel Association.
If you enjoy our constant ragging on Sketchworks Comedy's head writer John D. Babcock III, then we urge you to donate to the Sketchworks Patreon, just like our new Patreon supporter, Christopher Parrott! Hooray! Hooray! Sound effects, visual effects, all sorts of effects. Any donation helps us in our mission to make the world laugh by teaching comedy, performing comedy, and ragging on Babs. Because anyone who only puts butter on their bagel deserves it. Ugh. So this season, if you feel so inclined, we hope you visit our Patreon and give a little something from your pocketbook. Russia is reporting that 52 coal miners are now dead after a coal mine fire in Siberia. Authorities are still investigating the cause, but the canary has been put on administrative leave. Speaking of reptiles, in an appearance on The Jim Bakker Show, evangelical author Sharon Gilbert claimed a reptilian extraterrestrial posed as her husband and attempted to have sex with her. Gilbert said she knew immediately this was an imposter, as her real husband hasn't wanted to have sex with her for over a decade. Upon learning Jim Bakker was on television again, New York Governor Kathy Hochul has declared a state of emergency. Discovery Plus announced a two-part docuseries titled Johnny and Amber, about the turbulent relationship between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. The series will tell both sides of the story. Amber's portion portrays Johnny Depp as an egomaniac, fueled by alcohol and drugs, and prone to fits of violence, while Depp's portion portrays him as an egomaniac, fueled by alcohol and drugs, prone to fits of violence. In other Plus news, Disney Plus users in Hong Kong are reportedly unable to watch an episode of The Simpsons that makes a joke about the 1989 Tiananmen Square protests and massacre. It's not clear if Disney pulled the episode or the Chinese government forced Disney to do it. But what's really shocking in this story is that people are still watching The Simpsons. Fortunately, you can still watch my appearance in Hawkeye on Disney Plus no matter where you are. Please, I need those residuals. And a second season. And now, a paid message from our sponsors.
Commercial time.
Are you sick and tired of society forcing you to return to normal? Would you prefer to sit inside for the rest of time and never accept that life has challenges? Well, now you can. Introducing the all-new Omicron COVID variant. It's the variant that says, yes, we can make the good COVID times last forever. From 2 weeks to slow the spread to 2 weeks to leave the bed, Omicron variant is here for you.
West Point cadets who tried to steal the U.S. Naval Academy's goat mascot as part of a decades-old tradition ended up stealing the wrong one. Sounds like a group of future four-star generals, if you ask me. Monterey Bay aquarium researchers from the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute in Monterey Bay, California, have discovered a mammoth 3-foot-long tusk 10,000 feet under the ocean bed. To clarify, researchers are not saying the 3-foot tusk itself is mammoth. Researchers are saying the 3-foot tusk is from a mammoth. Mammoths are animals who are themselves considered mammoth. Perhaps that's how they got their name. A man from New Jersey struck and killed a pedestrian on the parkway last week and then drove home with the dead body in the trunk. Some people will do anything to take the HOV lane. Nearly 4,000 bongs and thousands of dollars in cash were seized by customs agents at Dulles International Airport outside of Washington, D.C. This can only mean Snoop Dogg is back from his Thanksgiving vacation in Jamaica. Despite the bongs and cash being discovered outside of Washington, D.C., New York Governor Kathy Hochul has declared a state of emergency. And that's all for Sketchworks NewsBrake. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. I'm Brian Troxell, and I'm off to Dulles Airport in the HOV lane. I moved back to this side of the screen.